See me grinding, hit the kick flip. Baby drive, be lit. When I arrive, you hear trip. Who put your fresher in hibachi? You can tell me that I ain't hot. They having trouble trying to stop me. I'm moving like I'm Dr. Raindrops. So they tryna be my main dad. My heart is broken, she just let it go. We did not let it shit day. Like me, yeah, that's a go. Never been that type of prepper. Fucking doctor, I need medical. Cloud got me stuck like a vegetable. Pop the blicky for the opposition. Block a make a move. I don't even see no competition. You don't see no seed in my diet. Try to put myself in my position, baby. Show me you could be a rider. They were beefing now, I got them kissing. They know I ain't dealing with it.
It's alright.
So you know, you got the
I really listen to the beats, but I'm hearing some of the words, but I try to only listen to the beats because I know a lot of stuff that these dudes be rapping about. I ain't in that world no more. So I really mostly be on the beat though. Cause like usually when I when I listen to raps nowadays and I hear something that I don't agree with, I already like, dude's still stuck in this life. And dude's still stuck this way. So, you know, I just listen to the music. Which is one of the reasons why it says, the scripture says that the world gonna hate you. Because you're not gonna be agreeing with everything that they do no more. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, to the round pegs, to the square holes.
To the round pegs, to the square hole. Let me be the square. Forget the hole.
In other words, we don't fit into society. Ladies and gentlemen, how's everybody doing out there tonight?
Hope everybody being blessed.
I got a special guest. Yeah. I think of you, man. I'm gonna be honest, man. I can think of you as nothing more than my motherfucking brother.
You know, same here.
And you know, I look at you as a man that taught me how to be a brother. I'm like, damn, this dude is so fucking real with me that, like, you know, it's like, you know, sometimes in the beginning I had to check myself around you. You know what I mean? And, you know, for there's not a lot of people that I could say it was a truly honor and a blessing to meet. You know what I'm saying? And I must admit, you know, if the universe would ask me, you know, hey, who was the greatest person you ever met? I'm like Wally McLeod.
No, man, come on.
Yo, I'm gonna say my boy
capping, man.
Yo, no cap. I'm gonna say my boy Luck.
That's
so,
love. That's love.
Yo, so please introduce yourself to the audience before we get into the segment.
Man. First and foremost, man, that was a wonderful blessing, man, and all praise the Most High. But for the world, man, you know, Israelite name is Zephaniah. But many of you may call me Lucky Dude that know me from the world. And, you know, from Rochester, New York. Live in Georgia right now. The Rock, though. Born and raised.
Does that make me corny doing that?
No, man, that's just supporting your brother, man. I big up my brother, man. Pastor down. And if I ain't tell you, man, down here with my boy, man. Man, Just for the people to know, man, how much as the brother just gave me my roses, man. I met this brother in the struggle, and
the dungeon.
In the dungeon, and he was going home before me, but man, we started off in a 10-man cell. with some wild boys, man, from everywhere. If anybody know, when you've been in the struggle, man, in the feds, you meet people from all walks of life, all parts of the world. And man, me and this brother clicked, man. And I was like, yo, man, this my dude, and we ain't separate. We ain't separate, no beefing, no fighting, no nothing, man. You know what I mean? This is my brother, man, the whole time. So he left before me. And I came home 2020. And we linked back up. This brother found me by Facebook and every McLeod he could find. And when I seen one of my people hit me back, like a dude named Frank Brown asking about you, and I said, yo, that's my dude Franchise. Called him immediately. And so my job just recently asked me to go work at another job in a whole nother location other than Georgia. And he asked me if I'm willing to go to Harrisburg. And I said, Harrisburg, PA. At first I ain't want to go nowhere else. When I said Harrisburg, PA, wait a minute. That's next to Lancaster. Man, my dude Frank. Man, I want to take that job right now. And this is why I'm here. So this is why y'all see me today, man. I came up here really to see my dude Franchise. Not to work no damn job. I came up here as an opportunity so I could see my dude Franchise. But at the same time, I get to get some money. So, hey.
A lot of money.
Right.
A whole lot of money.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying money makes the world go around, but
it makes it better.
It makes it better. It makes it better. Yo, bro, you know, let's enlighten the audience even more. You know, I felt like in a world where we was supposed to hate each other. I'm from PA. You're from New York. They picked those. One person was from DC, another person was from Michigan, you know, another person was from Philly, which is still PA, another person was from New Jersey, another person was from NYC. It was a dude from Chicago and a dude from Cleveland. So that's Ohio and Illinois. They put 10 motherfuckers in a motherfucking cell and said, nigga,
live.
Yeah, live. And you know what the fuck we did? We fucking partied. We developed a brotherhood that cannot be matched. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where it, you know, where if we ever see each other, it's like we know it's real. You know, and this is where I tell people, yo, the broken would never, you know what I mean, would never be, what's the word I'm looking for? You know what I mean? The broken would never be shattered, because, like, you know, in a place where we were designed to be broken, and because there's really no other word to describe it besides, yo, we was designed to be broken. You know, we develop a pack amongst each other, a code amongst each other from all regions, and we kept it real amongst each other to the point where it's just like, yo, it's nothing less than brotherhood. And like I said, you know, I tell anybody in the motherfucking world, yo, you get one phone call before you go, who you gonna talk? Yo, let me find out what my boy Love's doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we don't have to really get into the messiness of, you know, the struggles of that. You know what I mean? You know, eating fucking cereal with bugs in it. You know what I mean? We don't have to, you know, we don't have to get into the level of, you know, disgust when you're trying to sleep and hearing the next man piss. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have to. We don't have to get into the illusion of a man holding on to what he once was while rocking holy sweatpants. We don't have to do that. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I believe there's only two ways to define your confidence. You know what I'm saying? You know, one in the material things, and two is in your character. Now, to me, two is more important than one. and I try to look for great character. You know what I mean? And you, sir, made me polish up my motherfucking character. But that's not the reason why I brought you on the show, yo. If I had, you know,
what you got up your sleeve, man?
Yo,
the wizard always got something up his sleeve, man. What you got up your sleeve, man?
You know, and you know, this is the part where you know what I mean. I feel like you got something a lot of people don't got.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, just hearing, you know, and getting a phone call or, you know, whatever, you know, you have something that was lost in this illusion of black culture. And what is lost in this illusion of black culture is black love. And, you know, and when I think of you and your wife, I think of, you're all I need to get by. You know what I'm saying? Right, and you know what I mean? And I'm sorry I wasn't there for the wedding or nothing like that. You know, but like, you know, and I understand that black women are being attacked. I understand why. But like, with all that being said, you know, let's glorify the women that held niggas down. You know what I mean? And whatever the recipe is, whatever.
For all our black queens that held the brothers down.
You know what I mean?
To them. Much respect, much love.
Yeah, whatever can be said or whatever is being told, I really don't dictate into those politics. I think you're either a good person or you're not. That's how I move. But like, are you a good person for me or not? Because some people I look at, they're a good person, they're just not a good person for me. You know, does that make sense?
No, that make total sense.
You know what I mean?
Well, total sense. It's like just like the saying, man. What you eat don't make me shit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You might like that.
Yeah.
It ain't for me though. So I can understand that.
You know, ladies, listen up, because this show's about black love. It's probably I don't think it's going to get deeper. You know what I mean? Because, you know, me on the outside looking in, you know what I mean? And you know, me creeping up to D block, even though I'm on C block, saying, yo, what you doing? Oh, I'm writing my wife right now. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, okay, my fault. You know, let me leave you the fuck alone and shit like that. I wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons. But like, okay, brother.
But I knew my brother was coming though, and he right. I was like, yo, your time gotta wait right now. You know what I mean? I'm writing my wife, but cause this is my brother though, this is my friend. I said, I gotta hurry up and write this letter though, man. I gotta go spend some time with my homie. You know what I mean? But I did let him know that, hey man, this wifey time right now.
Yep. Bro, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I remember the first time we spoke, right? And you might not, you know, like I said, like I'm like I tell people, yo, all the time, yo, I never cried when the judge sentenced me. I was like, all right, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you know, it was different showing people my paperwork, and they was like, yo, oh shit, you's a live dude. But I cried when I left, you know what I mean? And you're one of the major reasons why I did, because I was like, yo, I'm losing my family. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many lessons that can be taught, because like, you know, some of the things that you know, I feel like black people discriminate each other on, you know, and the number one reason would probably be location. You know, when we was put in the cell, in the dungeon,
like two dogs.
And,
like two dogs.
And boy did I act like what. You know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, you and then you turn me out into reading a certain level, a certain genre of books that, you know, because I thought I was the smartest brother in the world reading psychology books, medical books, business books. But then you turn me out to the fantasy books. And in those fantasy books, I learned more about life than you know what I mean, than Wizard Seventh Rule. You know what I'm saying?
Wizard Seventh Rule,
yo.
man. Swore the truth, man. Man, so if y'all wondering what the brother talking about is, you know, when you behind the struggle and all that, you know, you find books to read. And, you know, I used to read the money books and how to build generational wealth. And I said, man, I got 202 months, man. I got time to think about that, man. So, you know, I said, you know what? I need something to escape my mind from my situation. So I didn't want to lose my mind. So I had to make sure that I maintained and refined myself instead of taking my predicament and letting it make me angry or the mad black ex-con. Let me make something of myself, and then so when I get out, man, I could be a successful dad for my son. I knew I had a son that I was going back home to, and that when I reach him, he's going to be 13 or 14. So he was my goal. And of course, I was like, my wife still be there, who's my wife now, but my son's mother still be there for me. That's going to be my queen. And all praise the Most High, Yah, man. She stuck with me. But back to the story that we talk about. So I'm reading fantasy books. And I never knew fantasy books had so many life jewels and wisdom in it. And so when I started reading these books, I passed them to the brother, man, and we just started finding some fantasy books left and right to read. And these things you can apply in your life. You know what I'm saying? It just was so many jewels. I'm like, man, kids not going to get this nowadays because they got these phones and these video games, and most of them is nothing but shoot and kill. And they going to miss a lot of that. So now we need the dads to be in the house to help. But the only way dads also can help is if them and the mothers are on the same page and be able to show them that role where the woman ain't always challenging the man, but the man not always trying to fight to prove that he right. And, you know, it has to be a balance. And so, man, praise the Most High, I got that with my wife. Now, we do beef, but I had a lot of patience to think of these things. So, you know, I learned that.
Look, I've been drinking.
I see you dropping that stuff.
Yeah.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm alright.
You alright?
Yo, I remember. You remember that book?
I remember that book. Guess what though?
Huh?
I never got to read none of them. The Naming of the Wind. I always remember that Frank used to always talk to me about this Naming of the Wind. I never got to read that one yet.
Yo, I'm getting
so you know,
just talking
I'm about to go get all of them.
You know what I mean?
Because I said I'm going to go get all the Sword of Truths back.
This is yours, yo.
I'm going to go get them. This is book one?
Yeah, this is book one. This is.
Man, I appreciate it, man.
This is the 4 Doors of Pain.
I'm about to bust that.
This is the 2 types of secrets.
I might bust this down in 2 weeks. I'm down here.
I might have to give you a book too.
I bust that down.
I don't want to spill no more liquor. So
right.
Yeah. So definitely. I and I'm guilty of this too. I feel like, you know, people give up on people. You know what I mean? And you know, because you know, we had a conversation before then, and you know, I feel like, you know what I mean, if you love somebody, you never stop loving them.
Right.
You know, and I say that to say, you know, you might move on past them and all these other things, but sure. Like, you know, I look and I observe, and you know, and like I said, our first conversation, you said, yeah, I gotta talk. Yeah, hold on, babe. I'm like, oh, you got a girlfriend? He said, no, I got a wife. I said, what? He was like, yeah, but you done told me the story of how she kept it real and everything. And one thing I want to say is, I want to prove on any show I do, and it's a goal is to be like, there's women out there that keep it real. You know what I mean? like I said, like, you know, if I had to pick out your theme song, I would be like, yo, Method Man, Mary J, you're all I need. Because, like, you know, you know, you just, things like that are very rare, and it shouldn't be, but, like, you know what I mean, because
It
you know,
is.
you know, and to see it, it's the concrete rose, and not to say she's the concrete rose or you're the concrete rose, but the love is, it's like, yo, hey, y'all was meant to separate, and she lived her high in life, and you was supposed to suffer in that place where we're treated as less than men. You know what I mean? We're obligated to act like barbarians and shit like that. Y'all manage. You know what I mean? And, like, you know, every time I call you, you be like, yo, hey, you know, I'm about to go watch Black Panther 2 with my wife. You know, I'm about to go do this with my wife. And it's just like, you know, from the outside looking in, it's something that's beautiful to me to hear. You know what I mean? And I believe good black women don't get their credit because of bitches like Megan Thee Stallion, you know, Nicki Minaj, you know what I mean? The diva, was it divaism? Oh, I'm too good for this shit like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
reality TV, a lot of this stuff messes the sister. It empowers them. Don't get me wrong, it empowers them. There's nothing wrong with a sister being empowered, but it's about classy. See, you got these women that say that they classy, but they got all this raunchiness with them.
Oh.
So how can you be classy and raunchy at the same time? It doesn't mix.
I don't believe, yeah.
You know what I mean, it doesn't mix.
Play Juvenile, back that ass up. Go ahead.
So you sending out a mixed message, and it's never gonna look right. Like I seen a kid that posted Rihanna with a see-through dress on, man, and she got no drawers on. You can see the whole back shot, right? And I said, now why would this be classy? And then, you know, brothers talking about, man, that's class and that's a woman, but you got your 8-year-old that's gonna see this, and she gonna want to start dressing like that at 10. And then you don't want her to dress like that, but you just said this woman was classy in front of her, man. That looks good. So this is the mixed message that we be sending to our women, and
you know,
it's just messed up. It's a messed up thing to do.
You know, I was criticized before, right? Because I was told, like, basically, her exact words is, Frank, you don't know how bad niggas are fucked up out here. You know what I mean? And I was like, well, what you mean? You know what I mean? Because, like, you know, when I see it, you know, y'all the one twerking. You know what I mean? Y'all the one doing this. Y'all the one doing that. I mean, niggas might try to get money or fuck mad bitches, but, like, you know, you can't really blame them for that. But, like, you know, the niggas, you know what I mean? And so, like, I'm trying to, like, you know, and one thing, like, you know, I'm trying to understand is the like, if I can excuse that, you know what I mean, because maybe I only excuse it because I'm a man, can I excuse the behavior of a woman and when she was young? And that's kind of hard for me because, like, I believe we are creatures of habits. So, in other words, if, you know, if we're guys out here just trying to met a lot of women and get a lot of money, technically, to me, that's not a bad thing. I believe that, like, yo, and a man pursuing that, you know what I mean, and he sees you, you better show him something that's worth it besides your coochie. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Whether you agree, and so, like,
yeah, I would agree. I would agree. The reason why I would agree is because especially for many relationships, not just black love, Puerto Rican, Mexican, whatever. A lot of times before we even prove a woman that we decide to be our special one or soulmate, we have sex with them before we even prove the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the person that we even could be with 24/7 hours in a day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So once you had the sex and the sex good, yeah, okay, well that was great. Where's the conversation at? Where's the level of respect?
Yeah, okay, now, see, now I believe in the level of respect, right? I do. But I believe, like, you know, like, as far as conversation, that's kind of tricky. Because, like, you know, me personally, you know, and like I said, I'm single, you know. I feel like, yo, listen, if there's a role to play, it's not as my nigga. It's a role to, if you're going to come in my life, or if I'm going to come into your life, and we're going to entertain each other, it's not because I'm another nigga in my box. You know what I mean? Like, yo, my shit's already sealed. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, the opportunity. And then you as a person, as a female, you have to look at it like, dang, yo, okay, he entertained me on this level, and when we separated from each other's life, this is all we got out of it. You know, whether I don't even give a fuck if it's just $40 or if it's a 6-month splurge. You know what I mean? I believe that we are programmed to entertain what's good for us and to keep chasing it. You know what I mean? So and I tell people all the time. Like I said, when it comes to relationships, I think that the playbook, the original playbook, has so many that we revised it to so many audibles that we found cheat codes to, like, not love each other but just fuck each other. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense before I go on?
No, that definitely makes sense.
Okay, so when you see a marriage, you know what I mean, and let me give myself a pat on the back, by the way, because, like, I done had 2 married men back to back on my show. That's the first time, you know what I'm saying. And when you see marriage and you start asking questions and things like that, it's like, okay, well, you know, your intentions is to be together forever and, you know, develop a soulmate and this and that. And, like, from the outside looking in, it looked like that the lady, you know, was a good woman, and, you know, you was caught up in the streets. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? You know what I mean? Yeah, you know. And before you learn to grow as a man, you got jammed up, but she seen something in you that said, hey, listen, no matter what you go through, we're going to go through it together.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like I said, it's to me, outside looking in, it's a beautiful connection, and I don't know how to preach that to a young person, like, you know what I mean? Because I tell people all the time, I'm like, yo, hey, when you get my age and you don't got the love, you kind of come off a little bitterish. You know what I mean? Whereas, you know, you either see it or you don't. It doesn't matter about how much money you make, because, you know, as a woman or as a man, well, it kind of is okay when you're a man, but, like, as a woman, it doesn't matter how much money you make and how many vacations you take. You come off a little bit bitterish, and, like, I don't know the cheat code. You know what I mean? To preach to these young ladies about, because what made you want to say, yo, you know, who, like, was it, do you know before you got locked up, do you know, like, 1 year, 2 years when you got locked up, or, you know, when you was about to go home, it's time?
I want to say I knew before 2 years that it was time, but I wanted to make sure I wait till it was exactly only 2 years before I had came home, before it was time. And that was just a personal thing, you know, because still being incarcerated, right? So still being incarcerated, I wouldn't hold a woman, and this is, again, my personal thing about believing in marriage. I take them vows as serious. So I won't want a woman to have my last name while she's still being able to be tempted by others, since I'm not there to give her the comfort that she needs as far as in a man's touch, love, sexuality, whatever. So when it was 2 years left, and especially after all the time that she wrote me, I know said 2 years, there's no way in the world that she's gonna mess this up, even if she did or did not do anything before then. I said 2 years she's not gonna mess this up. You know what I mean? And I had confidence in that, because not only that, you know, it's not an ego thing. It's just knowing the man that I am and the impressions that I left. It's kind of leans to what you were saying, that she's seen something in me. And a man knows when he holds that type of aura, I would say. I won't say power. That type of aura over women after he done been with them a certain time. And that's why a woman, as well as our egos, is fragile. But a woman's ego will be fragile because a man to take advantage of that. And so that's why I made sure that I had to revise myself or refine myself while I was in there, and not come home to be the same dude I was when I left. Because no matter I knew the aura I held, I wasn't no good man when I was out. You know what I mean? I was chasing women too. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you said. You know, we program. We creatures of habit. Ooh. That's one of the things you said. We creatures of habit. So when you said we creatures of habit and we program to do certain things, that means we program because we see on TV and then we see our brothers do the same thing. And so when we not learning that we could be something different, we continue to keep doing the same thing. Someone has to show us this, or it has to be something inside you that want to do different. And I think for my end, it was something inside me that wanted to do different. I ain't want to keep being that same dude.
No. Was it like yo, as you found the God in you, or was it like you seen like, yo, I'm never going to get this love from anybody else?
Well, I knew I could get this love from anybody else, so I knew it wasn't just that. The reason why I say this again, this is almost like a little ego or pride thing in a sense, but if I'm home, right? If I'm home, no matter what woman I'm with, dude ain't gonna be able to touch that.
I mean, man.
I mean, I'm just. It's just reality. While I'm gone, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
When I'm home, you're not gonna be able to touch that, man. You know what I mean? It's just sex game. You know, not like that. You know what I mean? But but also I know how to treat my woman. So, but what really made me know that I had to be something different before I came home, I knew I was ready to stop before I discovered who I was, and before I started discover who Yah was and the truth of the book, that from my belief and from what I had studied. I could have came home and not known I was an Israelite and said that I was ready, but now I'm only holding myself to my law. You know what I'm saying? If I make my own law, I break my own law. You know what I mean? So, and what I mean by that is, I love my wife. Am I a man and I see other women? Yes. And do they look good and beautiful? Yes. But now, because I want to keep the law that the Most High has put before me and not violate, it makes me check myself when I see some other woman, so I don't step out of that line. Because there's someone that I fear higher than myself, instead of just calling myself a God. When we start calling ourselves a God and the God and 5%ers or whatever or whatnot, I make my own law, make my own rule. Woman, you gonna either live with it or not, and that's how it end up happening. But now, when you got a law that's before you, I'm not violating. You know how many women at work, nice women at work, tell me, man, if you wasn't married, I'll jump on you. In my head, I'm like, nah, I love my wife, but respect. But the other side of my head was, girl, you lucky I ain't the old me, because I gave you the same sentiments. I'm take it down, but I love my wife. So
here today, go tomorrow.
So right here today, going tomorrow. But I love my wife, and I do not want to hurt that woman. So I keep myself in check. Yah keeps me in check.
From a single man's perspective, sometimes that bothers. You know what I mean? And like so I'm not saying I entertain lesser women. You know what I mean? But like, I feel like, because Cause I feel like caliber is such underrated. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can give you a lot, but like how you move is just so. It has to be righteous. You know what I'm saying? I could take sassiness, but it has to be righteous. You know what I'm saying? I could take. I can't take a diva. I'm gonna be honest. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking up.
You're right. It's them divas, man. I can't.
Hey.
I couldn't deal with it. Like and you just mentioned her name. See, this is how I kind of really like turned off listening to a lot of them, because you just mentioned her name. You know, she got shot in the toe. What's her name?
Oh yeah, Megan. Yeah.
Megan. So Megan was on Saturday Night Live the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was the other day. She was on Saturday Night Live. My beautiful woman, but everything about her screamed ugly to me. You know what I mean? And I said, that's when I knew. I was like, it's just not a turn on to me. Might be turn on to others. You know what I mean? That's what dudes into. That's what they into. The diva and the raunchiness, and that's just not ladylike to me, man.
Yeah. And it's like, when was it ever okay for you not to treat a man good? Like, you know, even like I remember back in the 90s, you know, we were just making pennies off a dollar, and you know what I mean, turning those pennies into dollars. It was always a cooked meal. You know what I'm saying? It was never like, yo, hey, you know, the whole living the best life, and then it's like, yo, from the outside looking in, like, yo, that's what you call your best life?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I know, like, in today's society, most people frown upon it being normal. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, you know, I remember when we was there. You know what I mean? You remember too. And there's times where we was just like, yo, no, maybe it would have been nothing wrong with 9 to 5. You know what I mean? I could take that. You know what I mean? If all this that caused me to get to hear, you know, penitentiary trenches or whatever you want to call that shit, you know, I could take a 9 to 5. But like, you know, being out, you know, well, and not working the 9 to 9 or the 6 to 6, the 12-hour days. I'm looking and I talk and I flirt, but I really hear people out in ways that they don't understand, and the 9 to 5 is not respected, and it's just like, I don't see you having a better option besides this illusion that you keep on holding on to, and you keep on holding on to, and you keep on holding. Am I making sense before I go on?
No.
You know what I mean? So, like, you know, I try to tell women every chance I get, yo, listen, man, even though I'm not right for you, because, you know, I'm a break your soul. Go find somebody that's right for you, yo. But look, before you look up, you better look within. You know what I'm saying? And because what's within is not right. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say it's right, because I don't want to say there's a lot of bad women out there, but like, we are what we promote. You know what I mean? You know, we promoted our past life. You know, we was that. You know what I'm saying? And we was in a cage. You know, we promoted that. Like, yo, you know what I mean? Now I feel like we both live normal lives. You know what I'm saying? And we promote that, and it's like, to me, you know what I mean, it's a sense of relief to be normal, you know what I mean, and it could be just a me thing, but like, you know, in conversations with you, I feel like, you know, you treasure it, you know what I mean, like, yo, hey, you know, I'm about to go pray with my wife. I'm like, what? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo,
man, again, man, all praise the Most High. You know, that was the beautiful thing too, right? So before I came home, right? Before I came home, I think it was 17 when I went to Fort Dix, and I ran into this brother named Yish, man. I ain't seen him since we was like 10. And I'm walking to get ready to go to my cell, my bag and stuff. And this guy walked past me like 6'7". I don't know nobody that's 6'7" from Rochester that I know that was my friend, you know what I mean? That I called a homie. And I'm looking and I'm like, man, what's this giant? This face look familiar, but I don't know nobody this big with dreads looking like a giant Bob Marley. So I don't know this kid. But then he must have felt the same thing. So he called me and he called my government out, and I turned to him and I called his government out, and I'm like, yo, bing. Gave a hug. You know, we talking about years. I ain't seen this kid since I'm probably about 3 years older than him. So I think he probably might have been 12. I might have been 15 or whatever. So anyway, you know, quick story. Make long story real short, man. He was in the room reading the Bible and all that. Me and my other home, we about to go in the bathroom and go blow some trees down. About to go get high. He said, yo, man, why don't you come here and holler at me? And so he started talking to me about the book, man. And I'm like, man, that's the white man book. And he started showing me a lot of things that I didn't know was in there. And I'm like, yo, where you learning this at, man? I'm coming with you. And ever since then, man, I started studying and then started researching and stuff. And then, you know, believed everything in it, man. Everything I seen and everything that showed that, you know, we the Israelites and that the name Yahweh is real. So long story short, man, I'm talking to my wife about this, and you know they celebrating Christmas and everything out in the world, Halloween, Easter, and all that. The blessing, man, that the Most High had did for me is when I came home, they stopped doing all that and got in line. You know, me and my wife bumped heads, but my son was all in it. When I started showing him and letting him know certain things and showing him who's who in the Bible and who fits this, and not only showing him that we the Israelites, but showing what the enemies did to the Israelites and making him realize, oh, who fit this? Then who was these people that was running these things then? And letting them see this and then showing them other things about it.
So he's a fellow truth seeker?
Man, he's a fellow truth seeker, man. So gave him the sword of truth. Gave him the sword of truth.
First rule, people are stupid.
Man. First rule. So, but bang, man, you know, my son, all praise the Most High, man, if I'm a little bit late on prayer, he'll let me know it's prayer time. Hey, Dad, man, you know, it's prayer time. Yo, oh, man, let's go. And, you know, my whole household, man, they pray with us, man. We celebrate Hanukkah, Passover, Atonement. So, you know what I mean, all praise the Most High. And so I came home, I ain't had to battle the demons.
Yo, let me, you remember Dritz?
Yeah, talking about, man, do Erden. Just do Erden. Come on, man.
Okay. You remember
the Dark Elf?
You remember? you know, I carry one of his lessons to me.
What's that?
In everything I do. What is it to be a friend?
What is it to be a friend?
Do I love this dude for what he was? Or do I love this dude for what he become? You know what I mean? You remember the story about that with Wolfguard?
No, I don't remember the Wolfguard
story,
man. It's been a long time since I read any of the Dritz Do Word.
Oh, man. Like, yo, you know, it's funny because, like, I read a lot of books. I was reading probably like 4 books a week because I don't know. You know, I was bored. You know what I'm saying? And, man, I'm going to say something. I learned more about life in fantasy books than anything else, and I tell people that. You know, and he's like, well, let me give you the Wolfguard story so you can remember. Because this is the Icewind.
Icewind Dale.
Yeah, Icewind Dale.
I remember all the titles. I forgot some of the stories.
So you remember when Wolfguard got kidnapped? You remember when
because Wolfguard was the barbarian.
Yeah, and he got kidnapped.
And the girl name was
Caddyberry.
Caddyberry.
Yeah, see, it's been a long time, but like, you know, when you're on nerd time, it's
Guinevere was the panther or cat. What was it?
I thought that was the dwarf.
Guinevere was the cat, I think, man.
Okay.
I'm telling you, Guinevere was the cat.
So this is when Wolfguard got
see something, man. You know, we gotta have a quick fantasy puzzle quiz here, man. Let's see if we get Guinevere.
Well, while you looking at that, I'm gonna tell the story, right?
Guinevere.
So when
According to Dawson College, Lancelot treats Guinevere more like a person. He is full of devotion to her, but he is also not afraid to call her out, which she likes.
This is not just the
Nah.
This is something else. But anyway.
So like, you know, Wolfgar got kidnapped. And you remember Wolfgar was the greatest warrior of all time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even more deadlier than Dritz, because he was
And then he had an axe.
Yeah. Shatter. You know what I mean? And he was the greatest warrior of all time. Until he got kidnapped. Went into the cage. Those demons tortured the fuck out of him. And you know, before he got knocked, you know what I mean, he was messing with Caddyberry, right? And so in his time where he was suffering, you know, these demons were really fucking with him. You know what I mean? It was just nuts about him and the demons. And you know, they done did some real torturous shit that I can't really go into because it's YouTube. But like, you know, then they freed him. But you know, they freed his body, but his mind was still like fucked up and shit like that. And you know, he couldn't swing the axe the way he used to. He couldn't call for it. The grip didn't feel the same. You know what I mean? And you know, the dwarf dude was like the father to Wolfgar, and he was the father to the party. He was like, yo, what's wrong with you? This and that, this and that, this and that. And he just ran away and never came back, you know, so to speak. And everybody was cursing this dude out, like, yo, man, this dude's a bitch. Da, da, da. He left the party hanging, blah, 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 blah. But you never understand, you know what I mean? And the chapter closed off. And then Dritz came up with, you know what I mean, with his mental thought, what is it to be a friend? You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what? In developing this friendship, am I a genuine friend? Because this person that, you know, once wrote for me and did all this other shit, you know, he doesn't have that ability no more. But I can never understand the pain or suffering that he went to. You know what I mean? And you know, because he knew, coming from the underdark, you know, coming from a dark place, and he was the only person in that party that came from a dark place. And you know, he says, yo, you know what? I can never understand what they did to him to break him, but they did break him. And I can now can I call myself less as a friend because he rode for a cause that destroyed him, and now he can't pick up this axe? Was that an axe or a hammer?
I think it was an axe.
Okay,
It might have been a hammer, but I thought it was an axe. I might be wrong.
But like,
But
you
now
know,
you're gonna make me revisit them books, man.
yeah. I've been reading. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. So like, he's like, am I a friend? Can I be a friend to this changed version? Because Wolfgar ran out to the dark, and he said, I just want to live life. I just want to find peace. And I feel like so many times, you know, because if you look at the recidivism, if you look at the recidivism rate, right? Oh, the cat, okay. If you look at the recidivism rate, am I saying it right? You come back within 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we beat that, you know what I mean? I would toast to that, but like, we've been drinking all day, and I don't think you can handle anymore. So like, you know,
Man, look, this I don't like I said, we ain't supposed to drink strong drink anyway. And that's not a commandment, for one. Before any Israelite seeing it saying, man, we commanded not to drink. No, y'all told us to stay away from strong drink. And it was wisdom because many people can't handle strong drink. But being a teacher, and if I desire to be a teacher, I'm not supposed to drink strong drink or wine. But the reason why I was saying no, that I can't handle it, I don't drink it because it takes me a lot to get drunk, right? And then for one, now it is commanded for us not to get drunk. So I just don't drink past It's not gonna do nothing to you, Frank, man.
Okay.
I'll drink somebody under the table if I wanted to, but I'll listen to y'all, man.
Okay. Okay. What is it to be a friend? That I look at this guy who gave me my first thing of hooch. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Now look at this and say, yo, whoa, we've been dreaming about Hennessy, and all this other shit. Or did I say, yo, this is my brother, man? So we already had the Hennessy, man, our journeys in, honor the shot. You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to say, what the hell?
Yeah. And but yeah, that cat just jumped in there, right?
Right.
But yeah, we have to look at that and say, because I think we're changed men.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when you look at the younger generation, and we see ourselves in them, you know what I mean? Whether we see them as, whether we were opportunists or whatever, you know what I mean? We're just straight changed men, you know what I mean? And I try not to judge them, you know what I mean? Because it's like, yo, I don't know what the universe or Yah or God or Allah or whatever, I'm trying to respect all relations there, have in store for you. Right. You know what I mean? I can only ask that your intentions, you find your moral cause and you get good intentions and shit like that. In that lost translation, there's a part of me that feels guilty because it's like, yo, hey, I remember when I was young and I didn't know how to use a hammer. Did I feel guilty? And yes. Do you feel like that, like, yo, hey, you see the younger versions of yourself, and you see the self of you now, and even though it might look like they're more prosperous, I'm saying that right? Prosperous than we're doing right now, which I doubt, but like, you know what I mean? They don't have no end game. You know what I'm saying? And it's destroying them, and we're creating more of us with the trauma instead of us with the wisdom. You know what I mean?
The wisdom, with discernment.
Mm-hmm.
And no, you right. And on the thing about judging, right? So like, yes, it does seem like a lot of times when we be out there teaching or talking to brothers, it seems like we judging. And there's a judgment and then there's a condemning. Mm-hmm. So now, when we judge, we're not supposed to be railing or ranting at the people to make a person, feel belittled, smaller than what they are. You know what I mean? We're not supposed to bash them, but I know a lot of brothers do that. And if you're all out there doing it, you shouldn't do it. New Testament tell you not to rail at your brothers. It says to show them the error of their ways. So just like when you said you haven't, when you was little, you didn't know how to use a hammer. Mm-hmm. It was something strange to you. It was foreign. So just like when we don't know about the law or keeping the law, man, you don't know how to use that hammer. Mm-hmm. So you need someone to show you how to use that hammer. Or you need somebody to show you how to be advisory to the law. Mm-hmm. It's just the same thing. It's just in a different way. And then it's a way of teaching. Like if you teaching your kid how to do something, or a young man to do something different, it's a way of taking the time to teach them and show them, instead of making them feel like they're less than. So now, because when you make a person feel like they're less than, they don't even want to be around you or want to learn from you. Mm-hmm. So it's a way that we should carry ourselves as being men, and we missing that a lot from a lot of men. We got a couple of brothers like me and you that done changed our lives, that'll take the time to talk to the younger generation, and maybe they'll learn something. And if they don't learn it right away, just believe me, you done planted a seed in someone's ear. So when they do get into trouble, or maybe even before they get into trouble, somewhere in the back of their mind, they're hearing your voice. You know what I mean? They're like, man, Frank told me not to do that, man.
Yeah.
I respect franchise. I ain't gonna do that.
I say that to say, like, we have a journey, right?
Right.
And I don't know if you and your wife ever spoke to it. So, like, she understood that, like, yo, you had a journey the whole time while you was 14 years. I only did 9. Well, there's no only 2. That's a lot.
Only 2.
Yeah, sorry.
Time. We used to say that, man. After you did over 5, it was too much.
Yeah,
it was too much.
But I want to take a day back.
Right.
Remember, I want to take one day back.
No, I said the same thing, man. It was crazy. Dude was like, man, what? I said, man, I love who I became. I said, man, because if I didn't, I'd probably have been dead out here in the streets. Or, I'd probably be a bad dude out here, man.
6 baby mamas.
6, 7 baby mamas, kids everywhere, scattered across the earth. Only taking care of 2 of the 10. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, all praise the Most High, man. He gave me a chance to look at the error of my ways, man. So, and in your case, whatever made you turn around, the error of whatever you was doing, just made you turn around.
Honestly, with me, there's a few dudes that say, yo, man, you have the right to be something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? I always thought myself as a role player. You know what I mean? And, like, you know, how I executed in my role, you know, was always with a little incentive. And you know what I mean? To the point where people would say, you're shortening your role. But I learned that, like, yo, hey, it's very important you invest in yourself.
Right.
Young. Or you got the right guidance when you're young. You look at people like, you can look at people like me. I won't say I was the best athlete when we was down, but, like, you know.
Nah, you was nice though. You was nice. You was nice.
You know, I banged on a few people. I banged on a few, just a few. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, football probably was the greatest thing out there. You know, I won't. But, like, you know, and then, you know, but when you go back in yourself, and you be like, yo, imagine if I would have had a football coach that would have, like, you know, seen this talent that everybody else seen. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I look at that and I don't know, man. I just feel like, you know, what you know, we don't see things while we're going through things. Like, so what do your wife see to say, yo, you know, this is worth it? Because most women give up on a nigga. On a brother while he's doing his stretch.
Right.
You know what I mean? Do you ever ask, like, yo, why did you never give up on me?
You know, I've never asked her that. You know, now I'm gonna ask her that since you said that.
Oh, man!
To get that question.
Uh-oh.
You know what I mean? Get that answer. I said get that question. Get that answer. I never asked her that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess why I didn't is probably something my mom always told me, man, you never question love. But
Ooh.
I'm gonna have to ask her that though, just to get the answer. But you know, I knew I loved her. I knew she loved me, so I never questioned that.
Yo, I'm gonna add to that. In my life, right? Love was always good to me until I questioned it. That is like, you know what? How about, you know, we end the show early. You know, when you come back, you know, you always, you got the keys to the house. You know what I mean? And, you know, and you asked her. You know what I mean? And I would love to know, like, you know, that answer, because I feel like, you know, is it us or is it them just choosing us? You know what I mean? There's a part of me that questions that every day when I'm, well, not every day. Every time I'm speaking to a female, is it me or are you choosing? You know what I mean?
Right.
And why are you choosing? You know, but like, yo, if you could just say goodbye to the audience, you know what I mean? And we end this off on a cliffhanger.
Okay. I'm gonna definitely answer that question. But man, it was a pleasure being here on the show. And it was a pleasure spending the time with the franchise team. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all have a blessed night. Yes, sir, man. I think that was a good one, man.
Yeah.
That was a good one, man.
Yeah, this alcohol started kicking in a little late.